The Fourth Estate. Breaking news. Alberta reveals spending plans. Wear your face mask. COVID-19 is airborne. NHL player set dates to resume play. With your news anchors, Nikki and Solrak, reporting live at TalaLuvzRadio Worldwide. Reporting live, only here at the Fourth Estate with Nikki and Solrak.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever you may be. Welcome back here at the Fourth Estate, reporting Solrak and Sir Nikki. Sir Nikki, how are you doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Medyo busy and hectic this morning, earlier today. So, we didn't get to catch up until until a little later. But everything's good. Everything's good. I can still flex. I can still talk to you. Life is good. How are you doing?
Good. It's nice and sunny out here. It's still bright and it's a great weather today.
By the way, congratulations to Edmonton for being selected for the city to be used for. By the way, NHL is back, and Edmonton is going to be the hub for the Western Conference. So, good job to Edmonton.
Yeah, that's great news for all the Oiler fans, obviously.
That's right. Yeah, and it's good for the Albertans because, supposed to be traveling further, like in Vancouver or whatnot, diba? I think it's a good spot, and it's good for our province. And again, that's a breaking news. So congratulations to Edmonton.
Yes, and definitely it's great for the sport of hockey, and there's always that big rivalry between Edmonton and Calgary. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, yeah, no, we can't wait, and I believe it starts on August 1st. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's fast approaching.
Yes. Well, Sir Nikki, we have a few topics to be talking about today, and also we have a couple of special guests for today. We have Christina Ray from MLA, and also we have our commissioner of Philippine Sports Committee. So, ayan, si ating Don El Presidente Ramon Fernandez will be joining our show a little later. Sir Nikki, let's do a quick whatchamacallit. Let's do a quick COVID, and then in regards to our virus, sir, do you have anything for our numbers?
COVID numbers today.
I have some.
Okay. Do you have some numbers for today for COVID?
So the number of people tested is 3,142,702. Total cases is 107,126. Sorry, 107,126, and 70,901. We have a total deaths of 8,759 at the moment. So other than that, the province is looking pretty well. Pero syempre we keep we keep remembering our countrymen. It's syempre all over the world. Let's keep everybody safe, and again let's be cautious and be aware of what's going on, diba? So let's keep the practice going.
Yes, definitely. I think we're doing really well. It's just that a reminder that with this sunny weather right now, everyone's out, and I could understand that everyone's enjoying this warm weather that we have, and we know it doesn't last very long, so everyone's out. But please still continue to maintain that social distance, and especially if you don't like to wear a mask.
That's right. That's right. All right. Other than that, what else? What else do we have got going on? Some breaking news. Do we have any other breaking news? Do we have any other before we bring in our guest?
Yeah, it's not really a whole lot going on, but I know there's a lot of spring breakers that went to Mexico recently, and they forgot that we still have COVID going on and all these spring breakers. What happened was that they were a herd of infected people when they went back to their country. So that's really sad news for people who travel because they believe everything's safer. You know?
They must have a lot of time. They forgot the 1 week there. Oh no, sorry, 2 weeks there and 2 weeks back after they get back, right? So
exactly.
Anyways, kudos to them. Good luck to them. Be safe. Be safe.
Yes, definitely. You know, we still have to really take the necessary precautions. We're still not out of the COVID problem until we find or the vaccine comes out. Then things will ease up.
100%. Ayun.
So today, Solrak, we have a guest that would share us and enlighten us on what's going on with the pension fund, Alberta Pension Fund, and this is very important, especially for people, government service and the rest of the Albertans to know what's going to happen to their CPP. Okay? I think this is worth talking about. It's high time that we talk about all these investments that each and everyone had put in some money into it. Right?
Yes, and yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and definitely ang daming kailangang malaman ng mga lalo na sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Canada or sa Alberta. Siyempre, ang maraming hindi nakakaalam sa mga programa ng ating gobyerno, ika nga, pagdating dito sa ating mga contributions and things. So, hopefully, the person that we're bringing in today will put some light on this para siyempre matulungan natin ang mga taong hindi alam o hindi nakakaalam sa bagay-bagay. And also, Sir Nicky, I know in our province right now, there's a lot of things going on, right? So there's a lot of things going on na siyempre kailangan nilang malaman kasi maraming mga katulad ng mga bills na yung acts na recently was just implemented by Jason Kenney nga, diba? So anyways, Sir Nicky, I think we can talk about a little bit of the current events right now, and then we can bring in our guest. So I'm gonna talk about what's happening in the Philippines right now. As we all know, today there was another breaking news. It's sad for a lot of people. They've been in the industry since 1953. And they're being closed down, or they're being put everything in pause. I think I don't know the whole story of it, to be honest with you. I just heard it recently. I think kanina nga lang. So medyo hindi pa kompleto. You know, as you and I both know, we want to deliver the facts, and we want to tell everybody a true story or a true fact na nangyayari ngayon. So we don't want to be saying and mentioning the inappropriate. So anyhow, they had been denied. I know that they were paused back in May 4th, I think it was, when their airing was canceled or was paused by the government. What's your thoughts on this?
It's definitely it's a sad day for a lot of followers. You know, everyone knows ABS-CBN, and largest network in the Philippines. And yes, they've been around for quite some time now, since the Marcos era, right? Even prior to that. And I mean, there's a lot of events that happen leading to this. Lots of congressional hearings about certain, I call it clarifications, right? In typically when Congress does that is when do an investigation is in aid of legislation, right? And we all know that, but Congress also has had the power to grant a franchise for a media entity like ABS-CBN. And I know, it's there's always two sides of the story, and obviously one side will say, the government or the president didn't like ABS-CBN. But on the contrary, it was on record as well that the president said that he has forgiven whatever happened to him with ABS-CBN. So he categorically said that, and that he was hands off on the franchise renewal of the media giant. On the other side of the story, obviously, is people saying that the Congress hearing was one-sided, all talking about the faults or fault finding, I call it, as some people say. And at the end of the day, it came out to a vote. Unfortunately, the vote was a landslide. 70, 11, 2 did inhibit and 1 abstained. So it's sad to see a big company like ABS-CBN go. Obviously, let's talk about this a little bit more. Is the people who are employed by ABS-CBN obviously get affected. Right? Some people have claimed numbers were claimed to be 11,000, but actual numbers is lower than that. I know for a fact. But still, there's a lot of, I call it, when you say 11,000, most likely that includes all the contractual obligations, right? Yung mga, when you talk about celebrities, right? They're on contract. They're really not employees per se. They're contractors, right? So as we call it. So, it's sad, no? Nakakalungkot na makita na maraming nawala ng trabaho because of what happened. And I hope, there is still a solution to iron things out. If there was things that wasn't done properly, there were, I call it, if there was a violation, then so be it. It has to be corrected, right? That's just my 2 cents of thought. What do you think, Solrak, on this?
I agree. I agree on all of the things that you had mentioned also, and I just want to add to that. Na, syempre, yes, the celebrities are there, but also it's the people. It's the people that follow them all throughout the years. Um, I know for a fact that even on my family side, even going back home, there's a lot of memories there, right? There's a lot of memories there. Na syempre you cannot forget. I mean, ABS is ABS. That's part of the Philippines already. But it's sad but true. Now this is what's happening now. But we only hope that everybody will be treated correctly and fairly. As we all move on, right? So
And then, I think also, Carlos, that I just hope that, if there's no other way, okay, to keep ABS-CBN on the air, and whoever is coming in as the other broadcasting company, whoever is given that franchise, I hope they take on the artists of ABS-CBN, the cameraman, the reporters, and everyone. I feel for those people. Okay, nagtatrabaho lang sila. They have not really nothing to do with management, right? Siguro bilang isang mamamahayag, bilang isang reporter, you always want the best story out there. And I know sometimes we get, there are stories that get sensationalized a little bit, right? But media is also a business, right? Media is also a business, and you have to understand that's a fact. Okay, you don't have to overly sensationalize the news, right? But sometimes there is what we have to give them that little leeway at least, right? To make it look better. Thoughts, Solra?
yeah, no, it's between you and I. We both know it's a very sensitive topic, right? Like I said earlier too. We want to make sure we want to deliver the facts. We want to tell everybody what we know yeah. Again, very sensitive. As all of our viewers know this already. Even them, they're not sure on what is going on really. By the way, we want to thank everybody that's watching us right now and listening to us live here at TalaLuvzRadio with syempre, of course, Solrak and Sir Nikki here at the 4th Estate. By the way, we have a very special guest coming right up, Sir Nikki. We're going to be bringing her up. So we're going to be right back in just a few minutes.
Hi guys, it's Sherry Ann of TalaLuvzRadio Worldwide. TalaLuvzers and TalaLuvz viewers from all over the galaxy. Don't forget to tune in to TalaLuvzRadio Worldwide 24 hours, 7 days a week, only at www.TalaLuvzRadio.com. And of course, now our very own app is also available for download. So check that out and you can take us wherever you go with our class trance music, because we are the home of the stars where love resides. Spread the love, love, love. A Sunday of praise with your love DJ, Sherry Ann, from 4 to 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Don't forget to tune in every Mondays, Geek High Girls from 7 to 8 p.m. Because you feel you, I feel me, I feel you, we feel each other, because we are the Geek High Girls.
Angel and Sherry Ann.
Tune in every Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m. at TalaLuvzRadio, our local radio here in YYC, with your love DJs, Sherry Ann and DJ Solrak. Every Fridays, Sayi Curry's TV from 7:30 to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time with our DJ, VJ, Sayi Curry's, aka DJ Love. Tune in every Fridays from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. for our breaking news live with Carlos and Tita Nikki.
The Fourth Estate.
Check out every Saturday from all day, only at TalaLuvzRadio Worldwide at www.TalaLuvzRadio.com and our very own app at TalaLuvzRadio. Download it now for a top 40 Billboard charts all day long on Saturdays. Please don't forget to check us out also at our very own hub, our very own network at www.
Hello.
Reporting live here at the Fourth Estate with our special guest, MLA Christina Gray.
Okay, we're back live, the Fourth Estate here. Tonight, we have a very special guest. We have NDP MLA Christina Gray. How are you, Miss Gray?
I am wonderful. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, thank you for gracing our show. I just wanted to bring you in to talk about what's happening with Alberta pensions. I know there's a lot of talk going on about this, and recent events doesn't look very fruitful for our pensioners.
Yeah, I have been spending a lot of time on issues around pensions. I'll just tell you what I've been up to start. When it comes to pensions, our government, led by Premier Jason Kenney, the UCP, they passed a bill called Bill 22. And they did that last October, last year. And what it did is it made some sweeping changes to pensions. It changed how the boards are set up. It changed for teachers who their pension was with. And it did it all in one piece of legislation that also changed other things. So it's called an omnibus bill when bills have lots of things in them. So they passed an omnibus piece of legislation, and it only got like a day and a half of debate. So very little debate, very, very fast. And I am not a member of the government caucus. I'm on the opposition side with Rachel Notley. And so when you are not one of the government ministers, you actually get put into a draw. And they actually pick people, I don't know if it's a hat or how they do it, but they draw names. And I was drawn third for being able to bring forward a piece of legislation. And I brought forward Bill 203, the Pension Protection Act. And that bill has been going through the process, and it allowed a lot of Albertans to be able to talk about what's going on, not just with those pensions for teachers and public sector workers, but also the CPP, Canada Pension Plan. Because our premier, since the election, has been talking about Alberta pulling out of the Canada Pension Plan. And for most Albertans, their CPP is their only pension. So a lot of Albertans were very worried. So the reason I wrote this bill was to listen to all the people who had written to me. We've been working on it very, very hard through the process. And a lot of people, almost 36,000 of them, signed on the petition at handsoffmycpp.ca. And just on yesterday, because today's Friday, yesterday on Thursday, we dropped off 36,000 messages from Albertans who signed our petition outside the office of the Premier to encourage him to read and to look at and to debate Bill 203.
So, Christina, why is this so important that Albertans have to pay attention to it right now?
So it's really, really important because that money belongs to the workers. And the government keeps saying that it belongs to taxpayers, but you need to understand that your pension is part of your compensation when you take a job. And every week, a little bit of your money gets saved for your retirement, and the employer pays a little bit money for your retirement. And at that point, it's yours. The government shouldn't be playing politics with it. And for people who, especially right now during COVID, when there's so much economic uncertainty, people want to know that their retirement is secure. People want to know it'll be taken care of. And also, a big part of the changes the government did was to force all of these pensions to use AIMCO. And AIMCO has recently been in the news because they chose to use a very risky strategy. They called it the volatility strategy. And they lost $2.1 billion at a minimum. Some people think it was more, including $1 billion of public sector pension. And so while the government is planning to move everything to AIMCO and possibly leave CPP to use AIMCO, people are worried about this. And that's why if this is an issue that you would be concerned about, you should go to handsoffmycpp.ca and sign on the petition that we've started, because we are still working hard to deliver the message to the government that your pension is yours.
Christina, how did they arrive at choosing AIMCO? Is there a criteria or a specific criteria how they arrive at that? Was this debated? Was this talked about?
So one of the challenges with this is the government has provided almost no transparency about this. They didn't talk to any of the stakeholders. They didn't pick up the phone and call teachers before they moved teachers' pensions. They didn't do a detailed study or any analysis. And my bill, we've since had committee meetings to talk about my bill. And the head of Treasury Board and Finance, the deputy minister, came to present to the committee. And we found out that no, they didn't do detailed analysis. They chose to move everything to AIMCO. And some people feel that that's because AIMCO is a body that the government can direct and can say, we want you to invest in this area or that area. And so a lot of people are very worried about political interference. All of the best Canadian pension plans, and Canada has some amazing plans. CPPIB does really well. Ontario Teachers, the BC IMC is very, very good. These great pension managers, some of the things they have in common is that the pension plans have seats on the board for the investment manager if they're separate. That's really important. That doesn't happen here in Alberta. Another important thing is those pension plans, if they don't like what's happening or they feel like the investment manager isn't providing good value for service, they can leave. Here in Alberta, they're not allowed to leave AIMCO, and the government has made it a law that they need to stay there. LAPP, the biggest pension plan, a lot of public sector workers, $50 billion. AIMCO hasn't met their investment targets in 11 years, but they're not allowed to leave. So these are some of the challenges with pensions, and this is why I've been working really, really hard over the last several months to raise awareness, to help people to understand what's going on, and to tell this government, hands off our pensions. People do not want this change, and to give people that opportunity to have it debated.
So if I may interrupt you, they're moving this to AIMCO. They're now with CPP, and where is this investment going for CPP, for those people who don't know?
Okay, so I want to be very clear, and I apologize if I was confused. My bill would have stopped them from leaving CPP. The government hasn't done that yet. So your CPP is still in the same place. Teachers' pensions were moved to AIMCO, and public sector pensions like LAPP and PSPP, which if you were in them, you would know those acronyms. Those are at AIMCO. CPP is still separate. And the government has said that they would have a referendum before they move CPP. But given their lack of financial analysis, I'm worried about the quality of the information that they would release with a referendum. So please, to be clear, your CPP is currently the same. I'm just working to make sure it stays there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because, I mean, that was my other question too, right? I mean, if I've been paying on my CPP for, let's say, I've been working for 20 years, 25 years or whatever, if that changes and it goes to another, like what you're saying, AMCO or whatever, what happens to that 20, 25 years that I've been contributing for
So the theory is, I'm going to tell you what the government says first, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. So the government says...
We only have a couple more, so yes, please proceed.
Absolutely. The government says because Alberta is young, if we move our CPP and we do our own version, we can do a better job and we can save money. The problem with that, and the reason you want to have everybody's pensions together, is because it helps to manage risk. Right now, Alberta is going through a tough time. What if Alberta doesn't stay as the youngest province? As well, CPPIB actually gets better investment returns than AIMCO does. So the money does better and it gets bigger with CPPIB. So I put in my bill, in Bill 203, a prohibition on leaving CPP. I just wanted to make it very clear that I know Albertans don't want their CPP to be put at risk. We want to have strong, stable retirement security. CPP has just recently been enhanced, improved. We want that enhancement. So that was a big part of my bill. The UCP MLAs did not want to see this debated in the legislature, and they voted against having this debate in the legislature, which was very disappointing.
So what is Christina? What's the best move right now? What can people do to stop all of this and to stop the government from making all these changes? Because again, people are all about. We're talking about a lot of stuff here,
yeah.
And what's important is we put some action to what we're doing. If you don't want it, what can people do?
So I highly recommend email your MLA and copy me. My office is edmonton.millwoods@assembly.ab.ca. Feel free to share that with your listeners. But tell your MLA, I want you to sign on to Hands Off My Pension. Sorry, I'm about to give you the wrong URL. handsoffmycpp.ca. That's the one. And if you sign on to that campaign, we'll automatically get that, and I'll be able to see the messages you write and continue to advocate in the legislature. But the real key is to make sure that the government party, the UCP, knows that people don't want CPP put at risk in any way. And we want to make sure that our retirement is free from politics.
Thank you. That's MLA Christina Gray of Millwoods, Edmonton Millwoods.
Yes, and please email me, edmonton.millwoods@assembly.ab.ca and handsoffmycpp.ca. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for making us aware. Thank you for coming in, and mabuhay to you.
Mabuhay.
All right, guys, we'll be right back here at the Fourth Estate, which is, of course, Soul Rock and Mr. Nikki. We'll be right back in just a few.
And we are live back here at the Fourth Estate with our news anchors, Solrak and Nikki, with our special guest, our Philippine Sport Commissioner, OIC, El Presidente Ramon Fernandez.
Hello, sir. Good morning to you. You're here with us here with Sir Nikki and Solrak, of course, at the state. Sir, thank you for coming by and honoring our show here.
Yes, Solrak and Nikki, good morning to you there. At saka lahat ng mga kababayan natin dyan. You're in Canada, right?
Opo, yes, we're in Canada. We're in Calgary, Canada.
Yes, it's been quite some time. I haven't been back there, so hopefully when all this passes through, we're hoping we could visit you again there in Canada. Good morning to all of you out there.
Maayo po sa inyo, sir.
Maayong buntag gikan sa Cebu.
Ayan po, sir. So, ano rin, I think magkakaintindihan po kayo ni Sir Nikki dito.
Okay.
Anyway, sir, congratulations po ulit for being appointed as the OIC ngayon po sa PSC. And we understand there's a few things going on. Siyempre sa ating in terms of sa larangan ng sports, siyempre siguro natutuwa ang ating mga kababayan dyan when it comes to siyempre being you as the head at the PSC. So congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Solrak and Nikki. Yeah, we're trying to see how we can proceed with the training, especially for those athletes of ours that have qualified already for the Olympics. I think we have about 4, and 10 more are trying to get into the qualifying phase, trying to qualify for next year's Olympics. So we are planning now with the Philippine Olympic Committee, the National Sports Association, and of course with the concurrence also of the DOH and the IATF, so they can guide us with regards to the protocols and guidelines on how we go about the training because of this pandemic. We're in the planning stage yet. Anyway, Olympics still sometime July next year. We're hoping that really going into the 4th quarter of this year, we should be able to go full swing as far as the training of these athletes is concerned.
That's nice to hear po. Sir, pwede pong pakilinaw lang po sa atin dito. Philippine Olympic Committee and also Philippine Sports Commission. Ano pong diferensya ng two parts?
Yes. Every country that are members of the International Olympic Committee have their own organization, the National Olympic Committee. In the case of the Philippines, it's the Philippine Olympic Committee. It's private. It's private in nature, and all the national sports associations in the Philippines, be it basketball, bowling, sepak takraw, all those sports associations are under the supervision of the Philippine Olympic Committee. So they are also private. They have their own rules and regulations. And the Philippine Sports Commission is a government body. The Philippine Sports Commission law was created in 1990 precisely to help in the grassroots program of the government to do the program for grassroots development, and of course help also the elite program of the National Sports Associations and the POC. it's mandated in the law that the PSC will help the National Sports Association's athletes and that of the POC help them in their training, hiring of coaches, giving them allowances. That all comes from the government. No? So the POC and the NSAs are private, while the PSC is a government agency tasked to plan the sports program in coordination with other agencies of the government, like the Department of Education, with regards to amateur sports. All amateur sports are under the auspices of the Philippine Sports Commission. Is that clear enough?
Opo, yes. Yes, it is. Kasi siyempre medyo, yun nga lang, medyo parang kasi nakikita ko minsan, nakikita ko nga po yung POC and then at the same time, nandun din po yung PSC nyo at the same time. So we were just wondering how did that played out. Pero no, that's great to hear na PSC is government-based. And kaya nga pala nakikita ko with all of the past posts that you had, siyempre you're more on hand po sa mga kids, ika nga, especially when
the grassroots program.
Yeah, yung mga ganon. So yeah, no, that's really great. And then siguro sabi ko nga kanina, ang daming excited na ang ating El Presidente na ang humahawak ika nga ng ating sports sa Philippines, di ba? So by the way, kudos po sa lahat ng mga hopeful nyo. Siyempre, sinabi nyo apat. I think I'm gonna mention the names kasi I was looking it up. Carlos Yolo was a gold medal in 2019 sa World Artistic Gymnastic Championship, which given the qualification to be on the Tokyo 2020 supposedly, di ba? At saka nandiyan din na EJ of Vienna. Tama po ba? At saka Eumir Marcial.
That's correct.
And then Irish Magno.
That's correct. From boxing.
Sa boxing po, yeah. And then you had one also for the weightlifting at saka yung sa skateboarding. Hindi po ba sila nakapasok?
They still have to go through some qualifying tournaments. Well, because of the problem with COVID, na-cancel lahat yung mga several qualifying tournaments that could have been done by now. No? Si Heidelin still has to go through of weightlifting. Heidelin Diaz, she still has to go through a qualifying tournament. Same thing with Bargelin Vidal of skateboarding. Same thing with several 4 or 6 karate players and some taekwondo players, canoe kayak, several other sports. So we're really hoping that this is going to be, so far we're hoping that there will be a lot of Filipino athletes that will qualify, you know. Quantity-wise, we're looking at 15 to 20 athletes, no? So we're hoping they can get back into shape. Well, they are in shape right now as they are doing it on their own. But we're hoping they could qualify in the coming qualification games for the Olympics. So that's correct.
Sir Nick, yes, thank you, sir. Sir Nick, do you have any questions?
Sir, Mr. El Presidente, nakita ko yung sa picture niyo, sir, sa likod. I think you're doing sports fishing. Is that correct?
Well, it's childhood hobby ever since. No? When I was a kid, we live by the shore, near the shoreline in Maasin, Leyte. So I used to spear fish and go hand line fishing. So little by little, it's going back. It's coming back now. So whenever I get the time to do it, I prefer going there.
The reason why I asked that, sir, kasi yung kumpare ko who has a fish and tackle shop in Manila for the longest time, si Mr. Tai. And I always wonder that is sports fishing is a part of the Olympics or the Asian Games?
Unfortunately, it's not. But we do have an international fishing competition in Siargao,
Yes.
Surigao del Norte, no?
Yeah.
That's a very famous fishing competition. I was supposed to join that last April. There's a local, there's a competition for local people. There's also an international competition. Sometime around April or May, no? So the fishes there they're there right now. A lot of local fishermen are getting big bites, get big fishes now because hindi nabawasan yung stocks nila, no? Because this is the season. Blue marlins and tunas and everything, barracudas and all of that, no? So yeah,
that's close to my heart, sir, because yung China merchandising, they were actually the oldest fish and tackle shop in Chinatown, right? In Manila. And they're still around. I think they're in Adriatico right now. Oh, that's
yes.
A lot better, sir. Now I can see you because I know you're very tall, but you look small now.
Yeah, because jigging is becoming very, very popular here, no? So there are a lot of fish and tackle shops around. I go to one in Malate, not the one in Adriatico, but along Rojas Boulevard, somewhere there.
Along
there are
sa may Diamond, sir, no? Sa may Diamond?
Itong pinupuntahan ko dito lang sa may ospital ng Maynila area, no? Along Harrison.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, it's becoming very popular, and that's good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Matanong ko sa inyo, sir, kasi I'm a big Toyota fan. I'm actually your fan. Okay, so you know, old basketball days, and I was president of the PBA Press Photographers Group for quite some time as well. But that was, you know, after the Toyota days na yun. Anyway, ang tanong ko, sir, paano kayo napasok dyan sa Philippine Sports Commission? I know you had a very good career, and then you have very good business, right? So, and don't get me wrong, I'm happy that you're there. I was just wondering, what inspired you to be in public service right now?
Well, as you know, there's a saying, it's a cliche already, that once a sportsman, always a sportsman. No?
That's right.
So I guess I didn't really have a hard time deciding when I was called by the office of then newly elected President Duterte, now President Duterte, when now Senator Bongo asked me to join the Philippine Sports Commission. I said, all I asked was that I be holding office in the Visayas, because you know very well that one of the advocacies of Mayor Duterte is about federalism, no? Bringing to the countryside developments and all that. So I said, okay, that's in line with my advocacy also, because I supported President Duterte for that reason, because of federalism and the way he ran Davao. No? We saw that. I know that, no, for a fact. No? So, well, they agreed that I will hold office in the Visayas and take care of the Visayas program, the grassroots program in the Visayas. So that's why I accepted. I didn't have a hard time really accepting the responsibility, the challenge.
So coming from a family of sports also, sir, okay? My dad used to run a National Sports Association. Okay?
Okay.
And one of the biggest things is, you know, when we're developing grassroots, is always about continuity, right? Government programs, continuity. Pag nagpalit po ng pamahalaan, pag nagpalit tayo ng gobyerno, nagbabago yung mga programa, no? So, ano ang suggestion niyo rito, sir, para maiwasan itong problema natin na, you know, maganda na, mawawala na naman, maganda na, mawawala na naman?
You're correct, Nick. That has been the main problem of the sports program ever since the Philippine Sports Commission was created, no? But early on, no, sa term namin, ginawa namin kaagad, nagtayo tayo ng Philippine Sports Institute, no? Sa ngayon, ever since tayo na lang ang naiwan na countries sa world or Asia or Southeast Asia for that matter na walang sports academy, walang sports institute, no? Lahat sila meron na. Walang mga training of coaches and all that. Sa atin kasi, pag nag-national team ka, naging national team player ka, after your athletic career, it's natural, magiging coach ka, no? But kulang yan eh. Sports development right now entails a lot of sciences, no?
Yes.
So you have to put those in place. You have to start with a good crew of coaches and all that, no? Upgrade their learnings and knowledge with regards to sports science and all that, no? So yun ang inuna naming tinayo, the Philippine Sports Institute. But we were lucky that Senator Bongo came into the picture, no? When he won as a senator, the first thing he did was to enact a bill creating the National Academy for Sports. This is a school for high school athletes, no? And it's going to be based in Tarlac, Capas Tarlac, where our sports facilities that we used for the SEA Games are located, no? So enacted na yun, signed to law by President Duterte 4 months ago. So that's already in place. So all what we have to do right now is replicate that in the different regions. Maybe 2 in Mindanao, 2 in Visayas, 3 or 4 in Luzon to back up that program, no? And in fact, this coming end of July until November, I initiated a program in the Visayas region, a coaching certification seminar, no? 2 will start with in July and in November. By then, we would have graduated close to 1,000 LGU, local government athletes, no? From the whole of the Visayas. So these are level 1 coaches that will take care of the LGUs, the coaching for the kids in the LGUs, and then later on graduate into level 2, level 3, and so on for high school and college, the national team, and for international. So we're putting in place all those. So we're really hoping that the next sports leaders that will come in will really just have to continue what's in place already. They don't have to change it. Everything is in place already. They just have to improve on it, I suppose. No?
So given the fact po na yun nga, meron na po tayong mga coaches in place and whatnot, paano naman po ang mga training ng ating mga potential players or potential, ano bang tawag dyan, yung mga, ito nga tayo, mga hopeful natin ng mga athletes. Ano naman po yung mga, syempre, I know for a fact na syempre, ibang ano yan, ibang pag-iensayo ang kailangan, ibang coaching. Katulad ng sinabi nyo, ibang coaching na ang mga mangyayari dyan. So anything in play in terms of
yes, that's why we will be putting up also regional training centers, as I mentioned. Yeah. So yung mga bata pa lang, up to mga 10, 12, 13 years old, doon muna sila sa region nila. Unless, of course, merong exceptionally gifted child talaga na mas 13, 12, pwede na pang Olympics. You know, there are instances na it's like that where we can bring him to the National Training Center. The one in Tarlac will become the National Training Center. So while they're growing up and studying, they can still be in their regional centers. Pag tumaas na yung level nila of competitiveness, that's the time we bring them to the National Training Centers.
So it's always about kasi lahat naman yan, sir, kailangan may continuity, all the hard work, especially from the grassroots,
That's
And
correct.
ang next question ko sa inyo, sir, is like this. Through the years, right? And don't get me wrong, as I said, that I like basketball as a sport, but alam mo tayo mga Pilipino, we love basketball so much. And in fact, kahit na wala tayong height, hindi katulad ni El Presidente, matangkad yan.
Merong height, kulang lang.
Kulang lang yung height. Kulang lang yung height. So, ang tanong, sir, ano bang mga sport na dapat saan sport dapat mag-focus ang mga kabataan ngayon? Para magkaroon tayo ng chance magkaroon sila ng chance makapunta sa Olympic.
Yes, from the very beginning, again, of our term, I have been advocating for that program. No? Right now, kasi Nick and Solrak, like what happened in the last SEA Games, we had 56 sports. So, ang dami masyado. So, I've always been pushing that magkaroon tayo ng focus sports. 15 to maybe maximum of 20 sports. No? These sports are what I call Olympic sports, individual weight category Olympic sports. Boxing, weightlifting, skateboarding, table tennis, karate, and taekwondo, because there are weight categories, weightlifting, and several others, canoe kayak, even open water swimming. We have so much playing field in our coasts to provide this, even diving and all that. No, any sport that is weight category and competitions in the Olympics, individual, and some have teams like karate. They have team competition in the kata event, and several others. So maybe 15 to 20 focus sports. No, let's focus on that. In fact, some basketball fans are saying that I did not include basketball in that focus sports thing. No, but basketball kasi naman, the program itself is being taken care of very well here in our country. No, from the schools down to the semi-pro and the pro leagues. No. So that's already in place. So we need to focus more on the other sports, those categories that I mentioned.
But by the way, speaking of basketball, di ba, we almost made qualification yung 3-on-3. Didn't we?
We are still on the run. They are for the 3-on-3.
There you go.
Exactly. 3-on-3, pwede pa. Yeah. But yeah, that's right.
So anyway,
as far as funding, sir, kumusta naman ang right now, especially it's a very I call it it's a different scenario right now with COVID, right? And I know the athletes want to train. Meron ba tayong yung pondo ba? Okay naman, sapat naman ang pondo para sa athlete training natin?
Talking in general, sa whole, I guess it's safe to say that in the whole of Asia, we're in the lower level as far as funding is concerned compared to the other countries. Even Vietnam are funding their sports program very much. Grabe ang pagtaas ng sports program nila. Nasa top 5 na sila lagi, and all the other countries. So that has been our main problem, really, the funding. But it's a good thing now. Well, sayang, dumating tong COVID, lumalaki na sana because we are getting our funding. The Philippine Sports Commission is getting its funding from the Philippine PAGCOR. We're supposed to get, by law, in the law, the PSC is supposed to get 5% of the gross income of PAGCOR, maybe several percentages from the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, from taxes collected from sports equipments that are brought into the country. The PSC has a share of that, and that's where we get our funding for the development of sports. Aside, of course, from the budget that Congress is giving PSC from the GAA, from the General Appropriations
General
Act.
Appropriation Act.
But so maliit lang masyado 'yon. Nasa 250 million lang yung sa GAA funding natin, no? But last January, nakakatanggap na tayo sana from PAGCOR, ang PSC from PAGCOR ng 150 million a month, no? So maganda-ganda na sana 'yon. But then again nga, natamaan tayo ng COVID, so it's almost, hindi naman tayo zero ngayon, but napakalaki ang binaba. That's why part of the plan to continue with the training of our athletes now is getting that funding. Our friends from Congress and the Senate are working that yung fund for the training of our athletes will be part of the Bayanihan Act 2, which they are doing right now, no? Planning right now. They are budgeting for the Bayanihan Act 2. So we'll have to rely on that. But they are working hard to give our athletes the necessary funding for the coming training.
Anong mga measures na tinatake ng PSC para sa mga athletes ngayon, sir? Just to prevent this COVID spread.
Yeah, at the very onset of the lockdowns here, we have suggested to send them homes to their families, to their provinces. Up to now, there are still maybe close to konti na lang, about 10 athletes left here at the Philippine Sports Commission facilities at Pasig Ultra. We've sent them already home to stay with them, but they are training on their own. They are doing a lot of virtual trainings, trying to stay in the best of shape so that when everything opens up, they will be still in shape, no? Especially those athletes who are still trying to vie for a slot in the Olympics. No? So they're home right now. Several national sports associations are doing virtual tournaments, no? So that's the most that we can do. The other day, we just had a meeting with the PSC, the Games and Amusement Board, and the DOH. We just had a meeting trying to do we did a plan on which sports can play in which quarantine scenario sa mga GCQ areas, in GCQ areas, and GCQ areas, but are allowed and not. No? So it's with the IATF right now, and hopefully in the coming days, we will be able to get a clear picture on how we should go about continuing training of athletes. This is with regards to amateur sports that are under the PSC. Because boxing, professional basketball and the Philippine Football League, nabigyan na ng go signal ng IATF yon, with of course the minimum standards for quarantine or protocol rather, and so they're looking at the amateur side naman. Yan.
Solrak?
Yes, naku, ang daming kong natututunan pagdating dito sa ating Sports Commission. Pero ito part ng siyempre growing up, and I'm sure sa inyo rin, no? Every time na maririnig natin or makikita natin ang Philippine flag, 'di ba? Pag nasa Olympics, 'di ba, talagang hahanapin mo 'yan eh. Hahanapin mo ngayon 'yan eh. Excitement is always there. Dito Mon or Sir Mon, ang mga hopeful po natin, alam ko meron kayong parang hindi naman manok eh, hindi naman ganoon eh. Pero meron tayong alam nyo na talagang kailangang subaybayan ng mga fellow Filipinos natin. Sir, sino po yun? At saka yung sino po yun?
Offhand, itong si Yumer Marcial, yung boxer natin,
Opo.
Solrock and Nikki. Of course, si Yulo, he has proven that. He's very young. He has won gold in the World Championships. And there's not much difference in competition in the world and in the Olympics. That's basically he'll be competing against basically the same athletes. No? So we're lucky that he's based in Japan, training under a Japanese coach, and he'll be okay. So those two are my most lamang, no? Na magkaka-medal. There are of course a couple more, like in judo we have Kiyomi Watanabe, Japanese Cebuana Japanese descent of Japanese and Cebuana descent, yes, and several other Phil-Japanese judo athletes in Japan. They are also based in Japan. No? They are, you know very well how Japan is with regards to judo. That's almost their national sports. No? And who else? Of course, Heidelin Diaz. He has proven that she won silver in the last Olympics, and we're hoping she can make it again this Olympics, and hoping that she gets another medal and hopefully gold this time. We have a couple of people's karate. No, we have really improved so much after hiring a Turkish coach 2 years ago, and we have about 6 of them. No, malaki ang chances nila because there's one more qualifying tournament which was supposed to be last May. Mag-medal ka lang doon sa qualifying tournament doon, mag-podium finish ka lang, qualified ka na sa Olympics, no? So we have, I said, about 6, 3 ladies, 3 girls, and 3 boys, taekwondo, canoe kayak, and the others. No? But I pin my hopes in those 2, Yulo and Yumer, and maybe the third is Heidelin if she qualifies.
Wow. Sir, ang dami niya yan. Sana kahit di ba? Talagang nakakataba ng puso yan. Tatandaan ko nung araw sino ba yung boksingero nating yung maliit, si Onyok
Velasco.
Diba? Nakakatawa niyo yun. Nako, nakakatuwang story. So,
that's correct.
Yeah. So sir, by the way, alam ko po, naka-quarantine po ba kayo?
Well, pwede na sanang hindi, but there's no need to go out.
Okay.
Dito lang kami sa Philippine Sports Commission Complex sa Ultra. Everybody here has been tested, and thank God everybody is negative. So we contain ourselves here. Now nobody can enter that has not been tested yet, and we're trying to control the environment so that later on when the IATF allows our athletes to train already, we can have them here. We have a couple of facilities that can accommodate several 6 sports in this area. So we're okay.
Yeah. Ang ano lang po kasi I know it's a little bit of an off topic, pero you came from Cebu, di ba po?
That's correct.
Tapos pumunta kayo ng Manila, pero may quarantine or merong
Yes.
Tama po.
In Cebu, we were quarantined. We were isolated for more than 3 months. We don't go out there. We made sure because especially pagdating nung towards the end of May, nung nag-ECQ na ang Cebu, no? Timing naman yung area, yung subdivision where we're staying is contained. Not too many people goes in and out of there. We were located towards the back of the subdivision, so nobody goes in and out so much, no? But still, I had to get medical certificates from our barangay, from the city, and from the police. Well, it helped me a lot because of my position as assistant secretary in sports, no? So I can travel anywhere. We are exempted, no? So we were able to go to Manila, but once we arrived here, naka-isolate din kami, naka-quarantine kami dito sa quarters namin. We arrived on a Monday, and then we got tested on a Thursday, and last Monday, we were tested negative. We got our results. So we'll still stay here for as long as we can. No? We'll never go out of here. Anyway, we have people designated to buy our stocks, or there are a lot of delivery services already with regards to our needs here.
Also, the other thing kasi nga po, the reason why I'm asking is kasi syempre, sabi nyo, sooner rather later, you want your athletes to start training and all of that stuff. So kasi paano yun? Pagdating nila dyan, maka-quarantine pa ba sila? Diba? Syempre, parang it's lost time.
Yes, we have dorms here. In fact, there were hundreds of athletes who were living here, who were staying here. We have a canteen for athletes here, free ang food nila and everything, medical, all the needs, sports science doctors, psychologists, nutritionists. That's how we took care of our athletes here at PhilSport and at the Rizal Memorial Complex. So definitely all those athletes that will be brought here will be quartered here, provided for all their needs, medical, whatever, their food and all, training and everything. Of course, really they'll have to be tested, of course, first.
But that's really great to hear. That's really great to hear na this is what's happening now. Kasi syempre parang noong araw, that's far reach na parang mahirap masustentuhan itong mga atleta natin, di ba? Sir Nicky, any more kasi baka alam mo busy
about testing, right? Itong sa mga athletes natin, about testing the athletes, I'd like to know more about that. How long is the process? Is there a specific meron bang tinatawag natin nakatutok sa PSC compound or specifically for PSC ang inassign ng IATF for the athletes?
No, we hired a legitimate testing firm which we are using. They are accredited and recognized by the FDA and the Department of Health that are doing our tests. We've tested several of our employees already. We continually to do that, especially those skeletal force that we send to our office that are working now. We're having them all tested, and it's still, ongoing. No, so it's by PCR tests, of course. No, the most reliable testing procedure.
Ito yung swab, sir, hindi yung rapid test.
Swab, that's correct. That's correct. Swab testing. That's correct.
That's good to hear, sir. At least, if it's a private entity na handle, mabilis ang how long normally lumalabas ang sir? Ang resulta niyan?
3 to 4 days. Like we were tested on a Thursday. Well, there was a Sunday kasi, so we got my results Monday. 3 days, 4 days maximum.
At least hindi masyadong matagal para at least hindi nasasayang yung oras because at least they
correct. With all the anxiety and the pressure and mga tension and all that, mahirap na.
Tsaka syempre, may fire yun may excitement yun don't want to kill. You don't want to kill.
Gusto na mag-training, tapos hindi makapag-training. Hirap nun,
Exactly. Exactly.
Sir, yung may iba lang tayo ng konti. Elegant shot. Your elegant shot. How long did you practice to that?
Well, actually, that's a very simple running shot, Nick. I just had to do it more often, practice it very often, so it becomes natural, no? You have to plan everything. You have to do everything in practice, master it in practice, so that when it comes to the games, it happens naturally, even without you thinking about it, no? But
Exactly.
definitely, it's really some almost an unstoppable move, the running shot right by the keyhole area, because your opponent doesn't know when you take off, when you take that step going up, because as you all know, the offensive player is always at least one step ahead of his defense, no? So if you are able to perfect that, it's kind of really hard to stop. All you have to do is really practice that, so your accuracy is at the highest.
Sir, as far
Now
as
it's not anymore elegant shot.
Ano po ngayon?
Elephant shot na ngayon. Ayaw na tumaas.
Hindi. Wala pa rin katulad, sir. Wala pa rin katulad. Sino mas mga kabataan, sir, ngayon na basketball player na nakikitaan yun ng malaking potential? Apart siguro, everyone knows that si Kai Soto, right, is it's really trying his best to be the first Filipino NBA player. So apart from Kai Soto, sir, sino nakikita niyo na malaking potential?
Honestly, Nick, Solrak, ever since I retired in 1994, hindi na ako nanonood ng PBA games except maybe for a few when it's the championship round and when my former team, San Miguel, plays, no? I haven't really been following the games lately. So, well, as you mentioned, si Kai Soto is there, and I read somewhere there are a few tall guys getting out of high school, but I don't remember their names really. I'm hoping that there will be a lot more guys coming up. Maganda yung ginawa ni Kai na he went abroad to really train, no? That's how you improve talaga your competitiveness, no?
Yes,
Compete with the best in the world, no?
Yeah.
And that formula, we've proven that in the last SEA Games, no? Because prior to the SEA Games, a year before that, we sent all our athletes, almost all for that matter, all over the world to compete with the best ones. And look what happened, no? We won first place by a wide margin against the other Southeast Asian countries, no? So it's really about competition. As we say, competition is what makes an athlete improve, really. We're only as good as our competition, no? So yun ang kinikwento ko nga, tinatanong nila ako ano bang tawag doon? Mahay sa Bisaya eh. Anong regrets ko sa career ko? Sabi ko, hindi ako nakapaglaro sa international competitions from 1995 till 1988. When basketball became open, no? Na yung professional, because before, ang professional athletes couldn't play in the Olympic competitions, international competitions supervised by the IOC, no? Sanctioned by the IOC. So when we came, so you can just imagine from 1975 to 1990, we were competing by ourselves here lang in Manila sa
Locally lang, no?
basketball. So na-curtail yung improvement mo. Unlike if you play against Europeans, Americans, or what have you, higher level competition, i-improve ka rin, mahahata ka rin. So, yun.
Yeah, that's a given fact. That's a given fact now. Kasi nga, syempre, parang sabi nyo nga, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Kasi pag nasa
That's
Philippines ka, like what you said, coming from you, coming from you, of course, talagang syempre, kailangan mo rin talagang mahasa ng ibang pangahasa.
That's correct.
So, there we go. No, nako.
Otherwise, pang barangay ka lang.
So, sir, bukod sa pagkakabalahan nyo sa public service, sa PSC ngayon, and, obviously your favorite pastime, yung sports fishing. Ano pa po pinagkakabalan ni Mr. El Presidente niya?
Well, I was fortunate to be invited to join a company. It's a Canadian listed company, actually, UGE International, no? Solar, involved in solar.
Good.
If you can Google that, UGE International,
Yes, sir.
you can see that the company has set up worldwide close to 500 megawatts of solar power already and ongoing. And we do have a lot of projects here in Cebu and in Manila. We're getting to the 20 megawatt one already. We've done almost 20 megawatt now we're doing. So I got involved with that in 2017, 2018. So we're doing a lot of projects for the good of our environment. No? I've always believed that that's where to go. Lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, di ba? Napakainit, the sun is always out. We have one of the highest solar insolation in the world. No, we're close to the tropical line. No, what do you call that? The equator. So we have so much sun. So sinasayang natin yung araw na hindi natin turn into clean, sustainable energy. No, so that's what keeps me busy also, aside from the sports concerns that we have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, based in Toronto, sir.
Yes, that's correct. We have an office also in New York, no, and in Cebu. It's a good thing I was able to convince them to be based in Cebu, because I told them you have to be here at the central Philippines. No? It's easy to go to Manila and to Mindanao from here. Unlike if you're in Manila, it's a long way going to Mindanao or to the Visayas. No, but
Exactly.
here it's equidistant to almost the whole thing. And aside from that, we are supporting also the program of Senator Bongo, the Balik Provincia program. I've really been a farmer at heart since before also Nick and Solrak. So I've started a small farm in Cebu also, and I'm still looking for some properties around Cebu also. We're going to. I already have a range chicken farm, no?
Yes.
And I'm looking at putting up a what you call this plantation. What do you call that, babe? Fruit.
Dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit.
The dragon fruit. A few hectares of dragon fruit plantations, and maybe cacao for chocolate. We have the best, one of the best
Yes.
chocolate products in the world. No? We're famous for that.
Ina-export niyo ito, sir. Ina-export niyo.
Well, hindi pa. Uumpisahan ko pa lang yan.
Ay, umpisa
Well,
mo pala.
definitely cacao, the cocoa.
Yes.
Yeah, but even the local market, hindi pa kayang supplyan nga eh. Kulang na kulang pa eh. No?
Kulang na kulang,
So,
sir.
Yeah, I'm trying to squeeze in time to be able to do that. Nga, no? I was supposed to start that before I joined the PSC, but na imbitahan nga tayo to be involved here, kaya na-move back a little bit. So, but I'm trying my best to put in some time for that.
All the best to that, sir. All the best.
Thank you, thank you.
Parang may 48 hours and 24 hours ni Sir Ramon, you know? Ang dami talaga.
Sayang,
busy.
kulang talaga ang oras.
Well, nako sir, speaking of oras, maraming salamat. I know we're taking a lot of your time here now. But again, I really appreciate the time that you've given us here and being with us here at the show. Sir Nicky, ano ba?
Daghang salamat, sir. Daghang salamat.
Wala isa pa yan, Nicky and Solrak. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to talk to our kababayan dyan sa, what you call this, sa Canada. Solrak and Nicky, Carla sends her regards to you guys. We hope to see you and be able to visit you hopefully next year, no? Also to Sherry. Carla says, hi Sherry. Sends her regards. So, mabuhay kayong lahat dyan. Stay safe. Stay home.
Stay safe.
The only way to beat this pandemic really is to stay home and protect yourself. If you have to go home, wear those masks, wash hands, bring alcohol with you. That's all you can do. And with all those antivirus gadgets, we have to protect ourselves fully. That's the only thing we can really do now. Survival is the key.
True enough po, true. No, again, Sir Mon, nako, we can't thank you enough for being here. And syempre, regards din po kay Tita Carla. And ito, si Sherian nga po, talagang ano yan talagang sinabi ko, nako, since na-appoint po talaga, sabi ko, I want to have Sir Mon to be on our show. And she made it happen. And then again, director po namin yan. Siya po ang nagdidirect sa
Alright.
dito sa show.
Alright.
So maraming salamat po. And syempre, ingat din po kayo dyan. Syempre, stay safe po kayo.
Wise pa yan. Maraming salamat. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Sir Nicky, ayan, nagpapasalamat po tayo once again to Sir Mon. Sa ating mga nanonood, alam po namin ang dami yung mga tanong na hindi namin naisagot tonight. Pero, ayan, binigyan po tayo ng time ng ating PSC, Mr. Ramon Fernandez. I hope you guys enjoyed itong aming talakayan dito sa the Fourth Estate. Ako, Sir Nicky, ang dami ko natutunan, ang dami kong siyempre nalaman tungkol sa ating potential hopefuls sa ating mga atleta sa Philippines.
Definitely, we have something to look forward to sa nalalapit na Olympics. At hopefully, itong mga kababayan natin, sila Carlos Yulo, and Evelyn Diaz, and the boxers, right? And, you know, nakakatuwa naman at malaman na tuloy-tuloy ang programa na ginagawa ng pamahalaan as far as the training of the athletes is concerned. Okay, may konting problema, may COVID, pero hindi pa rin nawawala ang focus ni Mr. Ramon Fernandez matulungan itong mga atleta natin and the Philippine Sports Commission, obviously. And then yung mga atleta natin safe naman, so kumpleto sa testing at sa mga health requirements na tinatawag natin.
No, I'm really glad to hear kasi syempre pagiging atleta mo, kailangan mo talaga kumpleto ka sa lahat. Hindi ka pwedeng mag shortcoming sa mga lalo na nandiyan, sinabi niya, pati nutritionist meron na sila, mga scientists meron na sila. Kumbaga talaga sa lahat ng mga kailangan ng ating mga atleta para sa Olympic. Ako talagang binibigay. Sana suportahan ng ating gobyerno ang ating mga atleta at para lahat po tayo makita natin ang flag ng Pilipinas nasa gitna ng podium at nakasuot ng gold medal. Ako, isang accomplishment yan na siguradong kinahihintay ng maraming mga Filipino at syempre lalo na ang Philippine Sports Commission. Again, thank you to Director Sherian. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa amin tonight. Maraming salamat sa mga nakinig sa amin sa ating app at sa ating mga manonood. Sir Nicky, any last comments?
Yeah, maraming salamat to all the followers of TalaLuvzRadio, to Fourth Estate, Kikay Girls, Sai, right? So there's a lot of shows here in TalaLuvzRadio. Hindi lang naman kami ni Carlos ang panoorin nyo. Panoorin nyo yung mga ibang show. Napakaganda po ng mga ibang show dito. So, salamat muli. And this is, my name is Nicky Gokwan, the Fourth Estate. With me is my partner.
Ako po si Solra. And Sir Nicky, by the way, maraming salamat again for bringing ang ating MLA na si Christina Gray. Nako, ang dami ko rin natutunan. Siyempre, sana sa ating mga nanonood kanina na narinig ang mga kanyang mga binanggit tungkol sa potential na ito nga pagbabago sa ating gobyerno. Again, maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. Kita-kita po tayo sa muli next Friday at from 8:30 to whenever we're done. Anyways, ako po si Solrax, Sir Nicky. Paalam po.
Have a good night.
Thank you.